Welcome to Acid Pro, the creative music production tool. This video is intended to help beginners get the most out of the program. Acid Pro comes packed with multiple gigabytes worth of sound loops and content, which you can copy onto your hard drive after you've installed the program. After the program has opened, you'll see the Acid Explorer below. This is how you get to your Acid sound loops. Generally speaking, all of the loops contained in the sound directory can be freely combined with one another. Let's start with the drum sound. When you click on a file in the Explorer, you are immediately presented with a preview. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to quickly scroll through the file list and select a suitable sound. Double-click on the file you want to use. Doing this will generate a new track, especially, and arrange it for your selected sound. Click inside the track and drag with your mouse to add a drum loop. 4 bars are enough to get started. Use the mouse wheel to zoom in on the loop. Limit the playback range on the timeline and turn on Loop Playback in the Transport console. Start playback. To do this quickly, press the spacebar. The drum sound will play back in a loop. Now it's time to look for a bass sound to go with the drum sound. You can let the drum loop keep playing. Click on the bass files in the Explorer to listen to them. Now you can complement the drum and bass with additional sounds, such as a keyboard. Click on the new loops in the Explorer to preview them. The rhythm and pitch are automatically adjusted so that all the sounds fit together perfectly. You can add whatever sound you want to any position on the track. When you're finished with the first few bars, extend the playback range. Click inside each track and extend their respective loop samples. The program will automatically use the sound contained in the given track. Each loop can also be extended or shortened later. You can also move them to other positions in the track. Adding and combining loops in this way lets you create complete songs out of individual building blocks. This way of working is called pick and paint. You start by picking the medium you want to use, and then you paint the corresponding events into the timeline. You don't even need to stop the music. A composition is usually comprised of various sections. These include an intro, a refrain, and multiple verses, and can also include bridges. Sections like these are especially easy to create in Acid. When you're finished creating a section, drag to create a suitable range above the timeline. Then go to the Insert menu and select the option Section. This will insert a new section. You can give the new section a name. The length of sections can be changed at any time. Different sections are assigned different colors. Acid loops contain musical information, which makes it easy to change the tempo or key. Start by adding a tempo or key marker to the beginning of the section. To do this, hold the Shift button and press T. In the dialog, set a new key. Or change the tempo. Now, when you place the playback marker just before the section and start playback, you'll hear the key or tempo change you just added. All the loops in the section are automatically played in the new key or tempo. The new loops from the media pool are also adjusted accordingly. You can see the current key and tempo information to the left of the transport console. To reuse the current section, including the key change, press and hold the Control key and drag the section to a new position in the song. Using this method, you can use multiple short song parts to create longer, varied songs. The Chopper tool lets you produce your own loops. You can either use your own sound files for this, or you can cut the included ACID loops into smaller sections. You can switch to the Chopper view at the very bottom of the program window. To load material into the Chopper, click on a sample in one of the tracks. You can now see a waveform display of the audio material in the Chopper. If you use ACID loops for this, you'll also see their beat markers. These markers divide the loop into rhythmic units. This makes it easy to chop the loop into smaller sections. The Chopper has its own transport console, which only plays the material in the Chopper. To create a new loop, select a range in the waveform and turn the loop playback on. You can modify the loop range using the Chopper's editing buttons. For example, you can cut the range in half or you can double the loop range. You can use the arrow above the waveform to add an offset to the selection. When you insert the loop, an extra pause is inserted to the right of the looped section. Finally, click the Insert button. The loop is inserted at the position of the playback marker. At the same time, the playback marker is moved to the end of the new sample. Keyboard shortcuts let you work significantly faster. To learn the shortcut for a button, simply read the corresponding tooltip. To create a whole chain of short loops, start by placing the playback marker where you want to insert the first loop. To insert a lot of short loops one after the other, use the A key on your keyboard. Simply press and hold the key to add an entire chain of sounds. This is a quick way to place individual loop sections one after the other. When you draw in the track with the pencil tool always uses the entire sample. ACID loops contain both a sound sample and a specific rhythm, which can be freely modified. To modify the rhythm of a loop, select the loop in the track and open the Groove pool. In the Groove pool, you'll find a large selection of rhythmic grooves which are typical for specific genres of music. For example, funk or hip-hop. Start by listening to the sound in the track without any groove modifications. Now, drag and drop a groove onto the track to try it out. Doing this will add a groove track. This track shows you where the beats have moved. Now, if you play the sample, you'll notice it sounds different. The rhythm of the sample has been rearranged. You can also modify grooves during playback. There is a special groove tool which you can activate in the toolbar. You can use this tool to create groove changes. Select another groove and draw the groove directly into the groove track. Pick and paint again. To completely delete the groove, draw using the right mouse button. Now the original loop is playing again. Acid comes with a range of software synthesizers, with different instruments which you can play yourself or use to create compositions, plus complete MIDI functionality which you can use to control and record the instruments. Add a MIDI track. Load an instrument and turn on MIDI editing. You can now use a MIDI keyboard or your mouse to play and record the instrument. First, activate the track. Then, start recording. Play the instrument or click on the keys in the virtual keyboard. Doing this creates MIDI notes which you can then edit. For example, you can shorten them, move them, and duplicate them. So that's it for our short intro to Acid Pro. In this video, we covered the highlights of this creative music production tool. But Acid Pro also offers tons of other tools and features for producing music. There's no limit to the creative possibilities. Check it out, have fun, and enjoy.